All right, so we're going over the rules of blasphemy as an excerpt from As-Sirat Al-Mustaqim. And we've reached the excuses. The Shaykh called them excuses from blasphemous expressions. So the way that's worded then does not include blasphemous actions and does not include blasphemous convictions. So blasphemous conviction has no excuse. Not in this way. Yani, how a person is going to have a blasphemous conviction and not be a kafir? How could a person have a blasphemous conviction in his heart without being a kafir? Nothing comes to my mind. What about the actions? Well, slip of the tongue. A- a- an action that's a slip is similar. Like a person didn't mean to step on the name of Allah. He didn't mean to throw the name of Allah in the trash. So, not blasphemy. In the case of compulsion, the blasphemous action is like the blasphemous saying. They forced you to say blasphemy or they forced you to do blasphemy, such as to bow to their idols. Citing another's blasphemy, okay, that's about statements. And this is where we have reached. The author says, may Allah have mercy upon him. وحالة كون الشخص متأولا باجتهاده في فهم الشرع. The case of the person having a misunderstanding or misconstruing of the sacred law while trying to arrive at the truth. The case of a person having a misunderstanding of the sacred law while trying to arrive at the truth. Here, the Arabic says, the case of a person being a muta'awwil, a misconstruer. The case of the person being a misconstruer. So why not here? Bijtihadihi, by his ijtihad. Here, that's the meaning of here, while trying to arrive at the truth. His ijtihad, if we were to say here, by his effort. It's going to be a very literal translation then. Concerning the sacred law. So, وحالة كون الشخص متأولا باجتهاده في فهم الشرع. The case of the person being a misconstruer by his effort. His own effort concerning the sacred law. So, first thing, this word ijtihad, which right here is translated as effort. That's the literal meaning of ijtihad, as you know. This ijtihad here is not the legal ijtihad. This is very important. The presence of this word here is very important for us. Let the layman know that the word ijtihad has more than one application in the religion. The scholars already know that. Okay, why make a deal out of the word ijtihad? Because this is the same word that the scholars used for what Muawiyah did. He said he made an ijtihad. This is true. They said he made an ijtihad. But were they talking about the legal ijtihad of Shafi'i and Malik and Abu Hanifa, or were they talking about an ijtihad like this one here? They're talking about an ijtihad like this one here. Not blasphemy. Muawiyah didn't commit blasphemy. But he did have an ijtihad, and his ijtihad is closer to this one than it is to the other one. Because it's not correct. Not just not correct, wasn't even lawful. That ijtihad wasn't even lawful. It wasn't the same kind of ijtihad like a Shafi'i does. And what's going to further make this confusing for someone is that Muawiyah was a mujtahid. So for him, all the dots are lined up. He was a mujtahid. And he made ijtihad because he's a mujtahid. And he was a companion. He has certain level and certain status. So for this person, he's putting these together. He's saying, therefore, shut your mouth here concerning Muawiyah. Don't you dare say he committed a sin. He made an ijtihad. So unfortunately, that one, he doesn't know how far he is explaining this issue like this. Well, he might say, no. I'm not the one who's far here. I can bring you the statements of scholars who said they all have their reward. So it was legal ijtihad. The ulama said so. So this is a case of potential confusion. That's why I paused here on the word ijtihad. What I'm talking about is not even the subject of what the Shaykh has here. I'm merely taking advantage of the word ijtihad in this spot here to make you know for sure that the word ijtihad refers to something other than the legal ijtihad sometimes. Now, I could keep moving now, but maybe I just cornered myself. Did I just corner myself in the process of arguing with myself? Some of the scholars said he made ijtihad and he got his reward. They said they all got their reward. Ali got their reward. Muawiyah got his reward. So that's scholars saying they made ijtihad. And they said Muawiyah made an ijtihad. They called it an ijtihad. And you agree with us that Muawiyah was a mujtahid. So why are you going to think someone who's a mujtahid, when he made ijtihad, it wasn't a valid ijtihad? And he was a sahabi. What we know that was not that ijtihad you think it is by the proofs. First of all, before the statements of the scholars, the ayats of the Quran, the hadiths of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the actual religious proofs. Like, which ayah? وَإِن طَائِفَتَانِ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ اقْتَتَلُوا فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَهُمَا. If two groups of believers fight, then fix the situation between them. فَإِن بَغَتْ إِحْدَاهُمَا عَلَى الْأُخْرَى فَقَاتِلُوا الَّتِي تَبْغِي. Then, if one transgresses against the other, then fight the transgressing group. حَتَّى تَفِيءَ إِلَى أَمْرِ اللَّهِ, until it returns back to the obedience to the command of Allah. Until that group returns back to the command of Allah, which is obedience to the Caliph. To Two groups of believers fought. Fix the situation between them. But if one of them transgresses against the other, then fight the transgressing group. This ayah proves that it's not possible for two groups of Muslims to fight and both of them are correct. How could both of them fight and both of them be correct? So that both of them had a religiously legal course for killing each other. This is the amazing, baffling thing for me. Some person wants to defend Muawiyah to such an extent that he allows himself to make the argument that is valid for two groups of Muslims to kill each other. They are both Muslims and both rightful in killing each other. How that part made sense to somebody? And in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, إذا التقى المسلمان بسيفيهما فالقاتل والمقتول في النار. If two Muslims meet with their swords, then the killer and the killed are in hell. So Abu Bakr, that's not Abu Bakr, he said, O Messenger of Allah, the case of the killer is clear, but what about the killed one? Why is he in hell? قال إنه كان حريصا على قتل صاحبه. He said, because he was determined to kill the other one. This proves that two groups of Muslims can't fight each other lawfully. Both of them lawful, I mean. Two groups of Muslims can't fight each other while both of them are in the right. How is that? Somebody's going to argue that they can. And I need so many proofs. ويح عمار تقتله الفئة الباغية. Woe to Ammar, the unjust group shall kill him. Who killed him? The army of Muawiyah. The army of Muawiyah killed him. Easily proven. That's known. Just trying to get myself out of the corner I argued myself into here, so I can get back to the book. And therefore, any scholar who said he made an ijtihad, there's two cases here. Some of them said he made an ijtihad, they meant it in the correct way though. Like Imam Al-Ash'ari himself. And some of them said he made an ijtihad and they meant that in the wrong way. So we're not going to take their saying. This is against the proof. And furthermore, last thing, and then I'm going to get back to the book here. Someone would say, no. They were both right. They both made their ijtihad and both of them got their reward. Now, I'm not even talking about what it means to say they both got rewards now. Just talking about the ijtihad part. That's a blunder, saying they both got reward. Just talking about the ijtihad part here. I could say to that person, so you are so sure that they both made ijtihad and both of them were right? Yani, or I could say it like this. So, you said both of them. So this means Ali was right? Ali was rightful in what he did? He's going to say yes. So we're going to say, all right, we follow Ali. There's no way he can prove that we don't follow Ali in what we are saying. You can't say, no, you don't follow Ali because Ali thought Muawiyah was right. So you can't say that. So no, you said Ali is right. You said Muawiyah and Ali were both right. So you're saying Ali was right? We follow Ali here. According to Ali, Muawiyah was wrong. طيب, let's get back to the book here. So the Shaykh said, وَحَالَةُ كَوْنِ الشَّخْصِ مُتَأَوِّلًا بِاجْتِهَادِهِ فِي فَهْمِ الشَّرْعِ. The case of the person being a misconstruer by his ijtihad concerning understanding the sacred law. في فهم الشرع فإنه يكفر المتأول إلا إذا كان تأوله في القطعيات لا يكفر فإنه لا يكفر المتأول إلا إذا كان تأوله في القطعيات. Indeed, the one with misunderstanding, who misconstrued, does not blaspheme unless his misunderstanding pertain to the indisputable matters, al-qat'iyat. What are the indisputable matters? The indisputable matters are like clearing Allah from resemblance to the creations, and like anything other than Allah having a beginning, and some other undisputable issues. So if his blunder were in the undisputable matters, he will blaspheme, or else he will not blaspheme. فإنه لا يعذر كتأول الذين قالوا بقدم العالم وأزليته كابن تيمية. Then he is not excused when his blunder is in the definitive matters, like the misconception of those who said that the world is beginningless, such as Ibn Taymiyyah. So what's the case of Ibn Taymiyyah here? His case is that he was merging hadiths and thinking about things. So he didn't just merely say, there's something without a beginning other than Allah. Only it's blasphemy either way, but that's not what happened. Rather, what happened was he said, here's a hadith. Allah existed before everything. Here's a hadith, he said, Allah existed and there wasn't anything before him. Allah existed and there wasn't anything before him. So he said, this does not negate that there wasn't something with him. There wasn't anything before him, but there was something with him. Still shirk. Ibn Taymiyyah did not escape shirk here. Point though is that he was putting proofs together in his own mind. In an effort to put proofs together, he came to a conclusion. His conclusion is that there is something beginningless besides Allah, the kind of the creation. Not any individual thing, but a kind of thing is eternal with Allah. This is blasphemy. The fact that he made an ijtihad to arrive at this blunder does not save him from blasphemy. And the fact that he made an ijtihad here shows you how messed up he is in his aqeedah. Or as some old heads would say, how jacked his aqeedah is. Okay, what's not an example of blaspheming then? When would someone not blaspheme for his misconception? Shaykh says, وَأَمَّا مِثَالُ مَنْ لَا يَكْفُرُ مِمَّنْ تَأَوَّلْ فَهُوَ كَتَأَوُّلِ الَّذِينَ مَنَعُوا الزَّكَاةَ فِي عَهْدِ أَبِي بَكْرٍ. As for the example of who does not blaspheme among whoever misinterpreted, that is like the misinterpretation of those who withheld the zakat during the era of Abu Bakr. بأن الزكاة وجبت في عهد الرسول, claiming that the zakat was obligatory only during the lifetime of the Messenger, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. لأن صلاته كانت عليهم سكنا لهم وطهرة. They said this because his supplication for them when they pay zakat would be mercy and tranquility for them. وأن ذلك انقطع بموته, and that was cut off by his death. All of that is their fallacy. Yeah, so what did they wind up doing? What did they do that has the potential for blasphemy? They denied the obligation of the zakat. Then you might say, wait, that's not definitive matter? Denying zakat? Isn't it known in the religion by necessity? Haven't we been learning all these years that if someone denies what is known in the religion by necessity, he blasphemes? Like the zakat? How they didn't blaspheme here? Good question. They didn't blaspheme here because of how they arrived at this blunder. The ijtihad. It was their ijtihad that saved them here. Which is that there was an ayah. There is an ayah. It's coming here. Let me finish reading. The Shaykh said, فإن الصحابة لم يكفروهم لذلك لأن هؤلاء فهموا. So, the companions did not charge them with blasphemy for that. So first of all, right there, why would they charge them with blasphemy if they were to? Because they denied the zakat. So there's a potential for blasphemy here. Why was the charge of blasphemy not established against them on the part of the companions? لأن هؤلاء فهموا من قوله تعالى, because those people understood from the saying of Allah the Exalted, this one, خذ من أموالهم صدقة تطهرهم وتزكيهم بها وصل عليهم إن صلاتك سكن لهم. Take a charity from their money, O Muhammad. خذ من أموالهم صدقة. Take from their money a charity, O Muhammad. تطهرهم وتزكيهم بها. A charity purifying them. Or you purify them. So تطهرهم here the charity, or تطهرهم أنت O Muhammad. Here, let's put it like this. Take from their money, from their monies. خذ من أموالهم صدقة, a charity. تطهرهم, purifying them. وتزكيهم. Now, who that's for? The Prophet who's taking their money, or the charity itself purifying them? We'll check the tafsir. وَصَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ, and make supplication for them. Pray for them, O Muhammad. إِنَّ صَلَاتَكَ سَكَنٌ لَهُمْ. Surely your supplication is a mercy for them. It is tranquility for them, serenity for them. This is the ayah. What was their mistake? أن المراد من قوله خذ أي يا محمد الزكاة لتكون إذا دفعوها إليك سكنا لهم. They said that the meaning of Allah saying this one that we just recited is, "O Muhammad, take their zakat from them." That's true up till here. So that when they pay it, it would be a mercy for them. إذا دفعوها إليك لتكون. So it. It. Purifying them is it. The charity is purifying them. لِتَكُونَ إِذَا دَفَعُوهَا إِلَيْكَ سَكَنًا لَهُمْ. The charity is the zakat. وَأَنَّ هَذَا لَا يَحْصُلُ بَعْدَ وَفَاتِهِ. They said this would not happen after his death. So it means they don't understand the ayah. So it wasn't just a blatant, obviously malicious denial of the religion. It wasn't a mere stubbornness here of denying something known in the religion by necessity. It wasn't even a fundamental denial of the zakat. Rather, it is a denial of the zakat that followed believing that the zakat was obligatory fundamentally, but that something happened that made it stop being obligatory. Their case is not like the case of someone who said zakat is nothing, zakat is zero, it's not obligatory. That's not their case. Their case is to say zakat is not obligatory anymore. It was obligatory, and here's the ayah that shows where it stopped being obligatory. That's why the Sahaba didn't deem them as kafirs. They said, فَلَا يَجِبُ عَلَيْهِمْ دَفْعُهَا لِأَنَّهُ قَدْ مَاتَ. Thus, it is not obligatory on them to pay it because he died. وَهُوَ الْمَأْمُورُ بِأَخْذِهَا مِنْهُمْ. And he was the one who was ordered to take it from them. يعني خذ, hey, yeah, Muhammad, you, oh Muhammad, take their money. They were saying, Abu Bakr, you're not Muhammad. You're not getting this money. You want this money, you're going to have to come and get it. وَلَمْ يَفْهَمُوا أَنَّ الْحُكْمَ عَامٌ فِي حَالِ حَيَاتِهِ وَبَعْدَ مَوْتِهِ. They did not understand that the ruling was general for during his life and after his death. So this is an example of those who did not blaspheme because of their ijtihad. And then the Shaykh answered a question. Yani, what he has here is an answer to a question. The question is not stated. What would the question be? The question would be, well, if they were not blasphemers, then why did Abu Bakr fight them? Like he fought the blasphemers. Add that to the question. Why did Abu Bakr fight them like he fought the blasphemers if they were not blasphemers? So the Shaykh answers the question. وَإِنَّمَا قَاتَلَهُمْ أَبُو بَكْرٍ كَمَا قَاتَلَ الْمُرْتَدِّينَ الَّذِينَ تَبَعُوا مُسَيْلِمَةَ الْكَذَّابِ في دعواه النبوة لأنه ما كان يمكنه أن يأخذ منهم قهرا بدون قتال. The only reason Abu Bakr fought them like he fought the apostates who followed Musaylimah al-Kadhab in his claim of prophethood was because he was unable to take it from them forcefully without fighting, because he was not going to leave them like that. لأنهم كانوا ذوي قوة, because they were a mobilized force. فاضطر إلى القتال, so he was forced into the fight because he couldn't leave them like that. And Abu Bakr himself, he said, when some of the Muslims were reluctant to fight them, these ones, because they didn't deem them as kafirs, he told them, if I leave them, then next thing you know, someone's going to deny the prayer. Now we're going to leave these ones to not pay the zakat and not fight them because they were Muslims, because they are Muslims. After that, somebody's not going to want to make the salat. It's like he's saying, I'm nipping this in the bud here. And when the people were reluctant to fight them, Abu Bakr said, I'll fight them on my own. And then he went and he strapped up, put his armor on to go fight them all by himself. And Allah knows if he would have been victorious had he done so. He was a wali. So when they saw how serious he was, then they joined him. وَكَذَلِكَ الَّذِينَ فَسَّرُوا قَوْلَ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. And likewise is the case of those who interpreted the saying of Allah the Exalted. فَهَلْ أَنْتُمْ مُنْتَهُونَ. Are you going to stop? So that's a question. They interpreted it to be giving a choice. بأنه تخيير وليس تحريما للخمر. They interpreted it to be giving a choice rather than as a prohibition from drinking wine. فشربوها. So they drank it. لأن عمر ما كفرهم. Umar did not judge them as blasphemers for legalizing wine. Now also here, someone might say, but wait, if someone legalizes wine today, would you call him a kafir? The answer is yes, indeed. So they would say, why? What's the difference? The answer is because now the prohibition that wasn't clear for them is crystal clear for everyone. The situation today of the Muslims in this issue regarding the rule of this case is not like their case. Not when they denied it, that is. Not at the time they denied it. Denied the prohibition or disbelieved in the prohibition. Yani, they didn't understand that there was a prohibition. Yani, they didn't understand that there was a prohibition. So they did not believe in the prohibition. When they became like we are now, then the judgment of blasphemy would apply to them if they were to do it, like if we were to deny it. That's why Umar said, وَإِنَّمَا قَالْ اجْلِدُوهُمْ ثَمَانِينَ ثَمَانِينَ ثُمَّ إِنْ عَادُوا فَقُتُلُوهُمْ. Umar said, whip them 80 lashes each. Then if they return to it, if they return to deeming it lawful, execute them. Then they would be executed for apostasy. Yani, then they would commit apostasy. Like now, if one of us were to deny the prohibition of wine, we would commit apostasy. Rawahu ibn Abi Shaybah. This is narrated by Ibn Abi Shaybah. إنما كفروا الآخرين الذين ارتدوا عن الإسلام لتصديقهم لمسيلمة الكذاب. They only charged with blasphemy those who apostatized from Islam for their believing in Musaylimah al-Kadhab. الذي ادعى الرسالة, the one who claimed prophethood. Those were the ones who, going back to the deniers of zakat, because this was all at the same time. These deniers of zakat and the fitna of Musaylimah, the false prophet. And the Muslims called him Musaylimah as an insult, because the word Musaylima, how they insulted him with this name by feminizing it, giving it a tat marbuta. Not that a man's name can't have one, but in this case, they put it there to berate him, and by miniaturizing his name, Musaylima. You learned about miniaturizing names. Didn't we learn in the summary of obligatory knowledge that it's haram to miniaturize the name of a prophet? And it's blasphemy to do so if one wants to degrade him? Here is a miniaturization of a name to degrade someone. You can't say about Musa, Muwaisa, it's haram. And you can't say prophet for the prophet. And you can't say about Prophet Isa, Uwaisa, that's haram. Haram. And if your intent is to belittle those prophets, it's blasphemy. Here, this one, he's already a kafir. So the Muslims belittled him by miniaturizing his name and feminizing it also. فمقاتلتهم لهؤلاء الذين تأولوا منع الزكاة على هذا الوجه كان لأخذ الحق الواجب عليهم في أموالهم. So they're fighting those who misinterpreted the withholding of the zakat in this way. على هذا الوجه, in this way. I think this goes back to مقاتلتهم. فمقاتلتهم لهؤلاء على هذا الوجه, they're fighting those people in this way. Because what way did they fight them? They fought them like they fought the apostates. Yani, from the outside, same thing. When you look from the outside, same thing. But the intention behind it is different. For example, if you gave someone, a poor person sitting on the side of the road, if you gave him some money, it's a charity to help him. Whereas on the other hand, someone dear to you, a wife, a child, a friend, and let's say this one's fine, has money, but you gave him a gift for rapport, not as a handout. So from the outside, same thing. This one you gave him money, this one you gave him money. Same thing from the outside. But it's not the same thing, because in one case it was a charity, it was a handout. In the other case, it wasn't a charity, it was a gift. It was for rapport. Same appearance, different purpose. Abu Bakr and the Muslims, they fought those who denied, those who withheld the zakat, like they fought the apostates. But it wasn't because of blasphemy. What was it for? كان لأخذ الحق الواجب عليهم في أموالهم. It was for taking the obligatory right on their money. Or else here, على هذا الوجه, in this way, or else going to go back to here. تأولوا منع الزكاة. Those who misinterpreted the withholding of zakat in this way. So it goes this phrase. على هذا الوجه, in this way, goes here or goes there. So if you want, ask Shaykh Nabil or Shaykh Samir. This jar and majroor على هذا الوجه in the Sirat refers to مقاتلتهم لهؤلاء, يتعلق بمقاتلتهم, or يتعلق بتأول منع الزكاة. So that's why they fought them, to take the money that was obligatory on them, yani to uphold the religion and to protect the religion from being dismantled in the long run. That was a door to dismantling the religion had they left them like that. Okay, so they're fighting those who misinterpreted the withholding of the zakat in this way was for taking the obligatory right on their money. Okay, wallahu alam. Let's stop there.